Daniel Tate has joined us. He's with Integrity TO, a civic advocacy group. I appreciate, Daniel, you coming back on the Oakley program. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
So, Daniel, explain the charges, first of all. When, where, how, why. Tell us what went down here.
Yeah, so the criminal charge is mischief under 5,000, carries up to 2 years. 2 years in prison is the maximum penalty for the charge. And essentially what happened was one day I was just completely, frustrated and disillusioned that the founder of our country had been in a box for 5 years. As you said earlier, it's a complete indignity to him and to our country. And I wrote on the plywood, "Free John." This cheap plywood. And at that moment, I didn't realize that they had seen me, the Queen's Park security personnel, and they immediately ran after me, manhandled me, cuffed me, and I got criminally charged.
All right. And when you wrote "Free John," I mean, was it painted on, or was it, something else, indelible ink? How did you write this?
Yeah, it was spray paint. I just wrote "Free John," and the irony about it is when I was released from the security cell at Queen's Park about 90 minutes later, it had already been painted over by the groundskeeper. But here I am, now in the criminal justice system, trying to fight for my name and ultimately try to fight for the name of our founding father, John A. Macdonald, who unfortunately is still boxed up, and it's really wrong.
Well, yeah, I don't understand it either. I mean, I would have thought by now, maybe things after the, moral panic of George Floyd and cancel culture and all the rest of this anti-colonial stuff, that things might have dissipated and, the temperament of the times would have ceded to reason and taking the cladding off, but that hasn't happened. It's been 4 years and counting. Tell me exactly why it is that the government hasn't been able to do anything, or let alone the Premier, Doug Ford. He's right there in that seat of power.
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's the question everybody's asking. It's like, where's the moral clarity and the moral leadership? 5 years on, he's still in a box. I did have a brief chat with the Premier a couple weeks ago, and he told me, he said that he didn't have the power to get him unboxed. He said there's this group called the Board of Internal Economy, which handled legislative affairs over at Queen's Park, and that the decision-making is with them. Well, that's a body of 5 people. I know 3 of the 5 are part of his cabinet, Lecce being one of them. And so I would hope that someone like Ford, who I know is, Captain Canada, as he says he is, should be able to flex his muscle and get this resolved, because it looks bad on Ontario, it looks bad on Canada, and as you know, we're in a time now where we need to create unity in our country. We have provinces that are disillusioned, disenfranchised, that are talking about maybe breaking away. We need to do everything we can to bring unity, and I think unboxing John A. Macdonald would be a good step forward.
We're right. This is all about symbolism as much as anything, and so We've got Daniel Tate facing a day in court on Monday. Again, the charge is mischief under 5,000. And wanting to free John A. Macdonald from the plywood cladding that covers him. But Doug Ford, tell me the gist of his conversation. I know you said, well, it's not up to him, it's up to the Board of Internal Economy. And you're right. I mean, it's 5 people in total, 3 of which are cabinet members. That's Paul Calandra, Stephen Lecce, and Ted Arnott. Why couldn't Doug Ford just say to them, guys, you've got the majority votes on this thing. Out of the 5, it's 3 votes, and let's get it done. Let's expedite this.
Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Exactly. That's exactly what should happen. I think we're at a pivotal point in the national conversation, the national mood. This would be a very symbolic act to finally unbox him. And look, I'm not saying you can't add a plaque or add a sign to say, his track record wasn't perfect. Not like none of our historical pioneers were perfect by any stretch. But to keep him boxed up like this, it's an affront to all Canadians. And it's a bad look for him, for the Ontario government, and for Canada in general. So, I'm hoping cooler heads will prevail, and I hope they do unbox him, and then hopefully I can get my charges removed so I can go back to, being an upstanding citizen.
Well, yeah, when you say it's a bad look for all Canadians, now, I'll qualify that because not all Canadians agree. In fact, this is bending to the will of, I think, a vocal minority or whatever in the Times 4 years back, as I was citing earlier. There's this whole moral panic thing going on. But isn't that really a testament to how squeamish we are about offending even minorities?
We definitely need to grow a thicker skin, but we also need to, in my opinion, acknowledge when historical individuals or characters are being unfairly maligned. They did it with Henry Dundas when they tried, when they wanted to rename Dundas Street, and then they renamed Dundas Square. And they're trying to do it with Johnny Macdonald as well. And I think it's unfair. It's a degree of historical revisionism where they equate a lot of these historical figures like akin to like they're Stalin or something. And that's, again, it's incorrect. It's academically dishonest, and we should call it out when we see it.
I appreciate you saying that. When I say minorities, I'm only referring to the loud activist cadre, that seem to always be getting the attention here, and then people basically concede the point and cede the field to these folks, and it ought not to be this way, because John A. Macdonald is too instrumental in the founding of this country, and maybe there's a history lesson that ought to be taught there, as you say, maybe a plaque affixed, which is sort of the compromised position instead of toppling. The other thing that's been raised here relative to your facing a day in court, if somebody had defaced this statue, thrown, as we've seen, even, taken the head off or toppled it or with red paint, they probably wouldn't be going through the same tribulation that you are.
Yeah, that's the sad irony of it. People were defacing and vandalizing national monuments with impunity 4 or 5 years ago. No charges. We were all watching aghast at how this was all happening, and it was acceptable somehow. And here I am, 5 years later, I didn't deface a statue or a monument. It was literally a piece of plywood, the cheapest plywood you could find. And now I'm clogging the criminal justice system with this completely frivolous charge. So, I just hope the powers that be are listening, and I think it's pretty evident what the right thing to do is, and hopefully that'll happen.
I agree with you. And, if there's no positive outcome and soon, then it's a testament to, let's just say, how feeble or feckless our leadership is. It's something that they're on the clock. I would just put the warning out there. We're watching. We want to see this thing resolved. To the point that Daniel Tate just made, it's a founder of our country, and the integrity, the democratic integrity of this province is being watched. I appreciate it very much, Daniel. Wish you the best in court on Monday, and hopefully a resolution to your satisfaction awaits. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great weekend.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.